Okay, students, let us start with the comprehension. Let us start with this comprehension section of your assessment of this lesson. आप लोगों ने poem पढ़ ली and hopefully you understood not only the idea of the poem but also the various literary devices used in it. ठीक है, बहुत सारे literary devices इसमें यूज हुए हैं, उनको भी आप लोगों ने थोड़ा बहुत समझा होगा. अब इस comprehension को करके जो है हम further जो है अपनी understanding को develop करेंगे. Which stanzas have a more pronounced similarity between the sea and the dog? पोएम में कौन से ऐसे स्टेंजास हैं जिनमें कि सी और डॉग की सिमिलैरिटी ज्यादा साफ साफ दिखती है. Now when we are when you're responding to this question, you have to remember that this entire poem is a metaphor. Okay, this entire poem and throughout the poem dog is used as a metaphor for the sea, and that is why you will find similarities between the sea and a dog throughout the poem. Okay, first stanza has the most clear similarity between the sea and a dog. However, we will find such similarities even in the second and third stanzas. Okay, the second question is like, when does the sea display more excitement? Well, the sea displays more excitement. If you look at your textbook, even there you can see the sea displays more excitement in the winters and also at night. Okay, now what are the sensory images that are created in the poem? देखो, I had told you about visual images used in this poem. विजुअल इमेजरी जो है वो खुद जो है सेंसरी इमेजरी का एक पार्ट होता है. अब जस्ट इमेजरी मतलब हो गया कि इस तरह के डिस्क्रिप्शन को यूज करना जो कि हमारे सेंस परसेप्शन के थ्रू जो है कैप्चर किया जाता है. ओके, सो दैट इज imagery, and it has like 5 types you can look at: visual, auditory, tactile, olfactory, gustatory. विजुअल इमेजरी जहां पर कि जो देख सकते हैं जिन चीजों को, या ऐसे डिस्क्रिप्शन जो कि हमारे जिनको कि हम अपने आईज के थ्रू जो है देखते हैं नॉर्मली, लाइक कलर, साइज, शेप, मूवमेंट एंड एवरीथिंग, ये जो है आपकी विजुअल इमेजरी में आता है. ऑडिटरी इमेजरी इन्वॉल्व्स लाइक साउंड साइड. टेक्टाइल इमेजरी जो है वो टच, जैसे कि कोल्ड, हॉट, वार्म, इन चीजों को बताता है. ओल्फैक्टरी जो है ये आपके स्मेल की इमेजरी है. और जेस्टेटरी जो है ये जो है टेस्ट से रिलेटेड इमेजरी है. सो लाइक यू कैन गो थ्रू द पोएम एंड यू विल फाइंड दैट दिस पोएम इज पर्टिकुलरली रिच इन imageries, like rough sea is compared with a dog, and then the imagery of giant and gray is used, that is a visual imagery. Rolls on the beach, another visual imagery. Clashing teeth and shaggy jaws, ये भी जो है, या फिर moon rocks in the stormy cloud, all these are like examples of visual imagery. Then there is also auditory imagery used in the poem, like noise, moans, night wind roars, snaps and snips. सांस लेते हैं तो आवाज से ही पता चलता है ना कि अंदर ले रहे कि बाहर रहे हैं, तो ये भी क्या हो गया, ऑडिटरी इमेजरी हो गया. हॉल्स एंड हॉलोज, क्वाइट डेज. Okay, all these are examples of auditory imageries, and that is why we can say that the poet has used many sensory images in the poem. Now next is, how do the moods of the sea correspond to human moods? Well, that's a very interesting question, that sea is compared with a dog, and now the question is asking like how its mood compares with that of human. So let us not respond to it as if we are comparing it to human moods. Let us correct it and make it like dog's moods. Okay, and let us respond it that way. Although Some of the characteristics are like that only. So since like the sea has been sea has been described using the metaphor of a dog. So there are like various moods shown in the poem. Like in the first stanza, the poet is talking about the sea being hungry like a dog, and that's why it's like wild and ferocious. In the second stanza, you find that the dog is energetic and playful, and the third stanza, where like there is no movement around, the sea is calm and quiet in temper, like dogs are while resting. तो इस तरीके से जो है this poem can be like this is, I mean, the moods of the sea are like are also like similar to the moods of a dog. And at the same time, if we persist with this question, like how do the moods of the sea correspond to human moods, you can also say that like we humans also have like these moods of hunger and the resulting anger. We also feel playful and like joyful when the atmosphere is very nice and pleasant, and when we want to rest, like at the night time, we are usually very quiet. Okay, तो इस तरीके से जो है ये ह्यूमन मूड से भी जो है कंपेयर करता है. Now we have got this like RTC, reference to the context. So let us look at them. The sea is a hungry dog, giant and grey. He rolls on the beach all day. तो यहाँ पर जो है कौन सा फिगर ऑफ स्पीच जो है स्पीकर यूज करता है while comparing the sea to a dog? And you know its answer already, right? Metaphor. What are the words that instantly portray the picture of a dog in your mind? Well, giant and grey rolling on the beach, right? With his clashing teeth and shaggy jaws, hour upon hour he gnaws the rumbling, tumbling stones and bones, 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 bones. So what does the dog and the sea gnaw on? Well, I mean, the dog gnaws on bones while the sea gnaws on those stones, right? What sound made by the sea is similar to the dog asking for bones? Well, you can say that like when like water like falls on the stones on the shore, it makes a sound that is like similar to dog asking for bones. Okay, now let us look at the next RTC. With his clashing teeth, oh sorry, yeah, this one is already done, so let's move to the next one. Shaking his wet sides over the cliffs and hauls long and loud. So how does the speaker indicate rough weather? Well, the speaker indicates rough weather by using the word like hauls and hollow, which suggests that the weather is very wild and stormy. Okay, and just like dogs like shake their sides very quickly or very fast, similarly the sea water also clashes onto the cliffs, and this sea water crashing onto the cliffs indicates rough weather. So you have got like two evidences here. Now what is the literary term used to describe the repetition of vowel sounds? Well, assonance is a literary term used to describe the repetition of a vowel sound. So I will give you its spelling. Okay. Now the final RTC. He lies on the sandy shores, so quiet, he scarcely snores. Again, alliteration. So yeah, what does the dog do when he is quiet? Well, he lies down, right? What is how is this seen in the waters on the sea? Well, when the weather is fine enough, right? When like the weather is fine, the sea is like very quiet and placid, and the waves are no longer rough. I must give you the spelling of placid. PLACID होता है. What are the different characteristics of the sea that the speaker brings out? Well, what are the different characteristics? The poet actually shows different characteristics of the sea. Sometimes, like the waves are high and rough, as if the sea is hungry and very angry. At other times, sea is energetic and playful. So waves are not rough, but they are moving. And at other times, the sea is quiet and placid. It is calm, right, as if it is resting. So, well, that's it for this section. Finally, we have got discussion section A3. And here, the first thing you are asked is like, the poem lists the similarities between the sea and a dog. Make a list of all the similarities between the two. Well, you can look at the poem and find the similarities. That will give you one idea, right? And like you can, I mean, for example, like the sea gnaws upon the stones. Dogs also gnaws upon, like gnaws, with his teeth on the bones. And then like both dog and sea are, like big and gray, can be big and gray. They both roll on the beach all day, both are hungry. So that like you go through the poem and you find lots of similarities. Okay. Next one is like, do you think the poem is an analogy of life and its ups and downs? Discuss. Analogy मतलब जहां पर आप किसी एक चीज को दूसरे चीज के साथ कंपेयर कर सकते हैं सिमिलैरिटी के बेसिस पर. ठीक है, तो क्या ये पोएम जो है वो कहीं ना हमें लाइफ के बारे में बताती है? दिस इज अ वेरी लाइक प्रोफाउंड क्वेश्चन. अब देखो पोएम में जो है कैसे टिमल्टुअस सी और रफ वेदर के बारे में बताया गया है, तो इसी तरह से लाइफ में भी बहुत सारी ऐसी सिचुएशंस आती हैं जिनमें कि हमारा कंट्रोल नहीं होता है, राइट? कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स होंगे, चैलेंजेस होंगे, रफ टाइम्स होंगे, और दूसरा ऐसा भी टाइम होगा जहां पर हम कंफर्टेबल होंगे, खुश होंगे, शांत होंगे एकदम से. तो इस तरह से जो है लाइफ जो है वो भी सी की तरह ही होता है. लाइफ में भी जो है एब्स एंड फ्लोज होते हैं, राइट? लहरों का उठना और लहरों का गिरना जिसे कहते हैं, तो लाइफ में भी जो है एब्स एंड फ्लोज होते हैं, राइट? कभी अच्छा चलता है सब कुछ, कभी जो है बुरा चलता है. सो वेल, दैट वे यू कैन से दैट दिस पोएम provides an analogy of life and its ups and downs. So well, that's it for the comprehension section. In the next one, we will look at the vocabulary section. Okay, bye bye.